Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Drew.
Why did the headless cable guy partake in his startup 401k plan?
Fuck if I know, dude.
He wanted to get ahead in life. Ah! Welcome to CATV Tech Talk's first ever Halloween special of horror stories. All right, it's our first ever holiday special. It's not real spectacular. There's nothing special about it. Our first ever Halloween special. Our first really any holiday special. Do we plan on doing a lot of these?
Yeah, man. I'm like thinking up Christmas Carol right now.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So our little short for our Halloween episode here is about horror stories.
And since he's from up north and nobody can understand what the fuck he just said, horror stories. Horror.
Well, no, that's why I said it like that. It's horror stories from Boston, guys. It's a little bit of horror guy. Fucking, yeah. Horrible of you.
This is the moment where we get a little quiet because I don't know what the fuck he just said.
Not really, because do you know what it is? Is really for a Bostoner, whore. When you say it like that, it sounds like you're just going, she's such a fucking whore. That's all you want to just say. It's whore. You don't want to fucking. So I'm trying to horror so everybody understands what I'm saying. Because if not, it's just going to be like, hey, Jesse, tell us about your horror stories, kid. We actually have a audio clip somebody sent us of one of their horror stories. You ready for this?
Let's do it, dog.
Play it.
I remember rushing on an install once, trying to run a line from room to room. I drilled through the wall in a spot where it was filled with plaster previously drilled there, and I hit something hard, but I was in a rush, so I pushed a little harder and I went through, but all of a sudden water started squirting at me faster than a fucking super soaker at full pressure. I ran downstairs, I turned off the water as fast as I could. I was in a rooming house, so there was multiple rooms in the basement. All of a sudden, one Asian lady who's about 300 fucking years old runs out at me and starts yelling at me, "There's no water for my soup!" She was trying to boil noodles, but I turned the water off. At that moment, her suspended ceiling just fucking burst all in her room. Water everywhere. I had hit a boiler rad. Worst day ever.
Wow.
Man, you know, I'm going to take two things from our friend from Winnipeg, Canada. Let's plug him real quick. This came from Mitch
Thank you, Mitch.
In Winnipeg, Canada. Mitch. For one, Mitch, that really fucking sucks. For two, you just told that story and I could listen to you talk all day. You were like so into it. It was almost like reading a comic book. So props to you, dog. And secondly, that poor fucking woman, you deprived her of her noodles, man. What the fuck?
I mean, water did come through the ceiling in large amounts, so she definitely didn't lack water.
She didn't get her fucking soup, Drew. Quit being a dick.
How the fuck do you know, dude? It could have went in the bowl.
God. I can see it now.
She was 300 years old. They were fucking making bowls out of clay. I'm sure she was fucking resourceful. All right.
You may be right. Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
But yeah, that is pretty horrible.
That is pretty fucking bad, man.
What about you? What's a horror story?
Fuck, man.
And again, this is Halloween related.
Man, when I ran on call on holidays, and I actually got Halloween one year that they ran like, you know how like at certain times in the year they would do like, you could run call for like the Super Bowl, or you remember that kind of shit where they would have like a guy in case something. Well, they did that 1 year, 2 years for Halloween. I don't remember why it was. I don't know. Because usually that wasn't like one of our regular holidays. But I remember I was either on call or I worked the late shift, one of the two. But, man, I had a trouble call in this underground subdivision. Like, and you know, like during Halloween, trick-or-treating, like there's a bunch of fucking kids in these underground big subdivisions because that's where everybody gives out.
No way.
God damn.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, you're a fucking dick. Anyway, you know, well, this was really shitty, man. Like, I remember I was working on this trouble call, and I had to go out to the ped. Well, like I didn't carry my tool bag back and forth with me everywhere I went. I fucking left my tool bag, and these kids are like walking on the sidewalks. Every 5 seconds there's another group of kids, and it is fucking Halloween. Well, I had the ped open and I had my meter on it, and my bag was sitting there, and I had left my cutters laying on the fucking power meter, so I had to go 20 feet to the power meter. I come back and my damn tool bag's gone, and I'm like, what the fuck? So then I start looking like. Because how the subdivision went, you could see the sidewalk kind of turn to the left going up this hill. And I start looking, and sure enough, this little boy's dragging my fucking tool bag. So I'm like, well, I don't want to go yell at this kid because he's like 8 years old. I don't want to like accuse him of stealing anything because I'm on the job. But I need my fucking tools back. So I like jog up this hill, and I'm like, hey, little man, can I get that bag right there? And apparently his mother and his father's like, I don't know, 20 feet in front of us. And they turn around and start yelling at me, like fucking like cussing and shit at me, like I'm a pedophile or something. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. And they're like, no, why are you talking to our kid? I said, he took my tool bag. So you're saying he stole something? I was like, did y'all show up with a fucking blue tool bag full of cable tools? Did you come here with that? And they looked at me.
Maybe the kid was fucking Bob Vila for Halloween.
Fuck, I don't know, man. But they like yelled at me and shit. And like it took a good 15 minutes for me to be like, look, those are mine. They were sitting on the ground over here, and now they're up this hill, and I'm working way over there. And yeah, it was just a fucking disaster. And then
there's no way my kid owns the same JDSU.
I'm telling you that, like, it was just the fact, like the way these people acted about it. Like, if my kid all of a sudden was dressed as fucking Batman and he's dragging around a fucking bag full of wrenches, I'm gonna be like, yeah, those probably ain't his, But yeah, that was.
Yeah, but if your kid dresses up as a supervillain, do you just kind of let him do it, not say anything?
Maybe that was their point. I'm not sure. But yeah, that was fucked up because in the meantime of that, I got these other people unhooked down the hill, right? And the guy, and while this is going on, and I'm up here arguing with fucking Karen and Kyle, I'm fucking, like, the guy's down at the bottom of his driveway, like, trying to wave me down, saying, man, I gotta go. We're heading to a party. And I'm like, I'll be done in 5 minutes. So it was just, yeah, that was fucked up.
Yeah, oddly enough, I have one just like that, but kind of sadder. I don't know. I've had a lot of horror stories, but the one closest to that one was I was working in Lowell. And Lowell's a city. It's relatively busy. It's pretty big. Unfortunately, there's a lot of homeless and drugs and all that good stuff. But I was working on the side of the house, and my van was parked across the street. I was set up at the ground block. I was trying to, at that time, I was in my good technician mode. It was one of those, if it wasn't shiny and brand new, just fucking replace it. So I noticed I didn't have a ground block in my tool bag. So I run over to my truck. Now, the way I parked, I had the truck with the side doors that swung out. Where the doors were on the truck, they were facing away from the house. So when I was on the side of the truck, I couldn't see the house. From the time it took me to literally run across the 2-lane street, go to the side of my truck, open up both doors, reach down on one of those doors, grab a ground block, shut both of them, come around, go back across the street, my tool bag was gone. Nowhere to be found. I'm like, what the fuck? So I look out on the street and I look left, nothing, and I look right, and there's a guy pushing a shopping cart. Nobody else around me. So I start walking up to the guy, and I kind of, I didn't want to scream at him yet and, grab his attention because maybe the crackhead didn't steal my shit. Nope, he stole my shit. I ended up going out to him, like, hey, buddy, nice tool bag. He's like, oh. And I think right then and there, he realized what he did. And I'm like, mind if I get it back? He's like, oh, yeah, I was just trying to return it to the police department. I thought somebody left it behind. And I'm like, yeah, sure you did, bud. That was really, to me, those were the horrors because those were the terrible things you had to deal with. I also had a guy, me and my buddy were in the sitting on the back of my van. Oddly, I'm pretty sure this was right around Halloween, or it was Halloween. We're in Lowell, and I was sitting on the ass end of my truck talking to one of the kids I used to work with, and all of a sudden I felt the whole fucking van shake. Somebody shut my door. And here's some guy. I look around the side of my van, stumbling away from my freaking truck. Some freaking heroin addict opened up my truck to look inside of it to see if there was anything he could grab quick and walk away. And I fucking look at him. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And he just goes, ah, and hopped on his fucking stolen bike and pedaled down the street.
Well, since this is a Halloween episode and it's supposed to be a little horror and spooky, I'm going to tell you where I was legitimately scared for my fucking life as a cable technician. I had a trouble call at the ghettoest projects in the area I live in, from one end to the other, which goes in 2 states, Tennessee and Georgia. So I was over in Tennessee, and I was in the middle of the ghettoest ghetto I've ever been in my entire life. These were wired with one outlet, and this one didn't have an outlet. So somebody had drilled a hole down into the crawl space and run an outlet. Well, it had no signal on it, and it was hooked up. So the only fucking logical thing is somewhere along the way it's cut. So I'm like, well, I know I got signal out of the tap. It'll take me 10 minutes to fucking pull another line because the crawl space is like 5 feet high, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm good. I'll just fucking run a line. I'll be out of here in 10 minutes. So I fucking pushed the line down into the crawl space, and it's like probably 30 feet on the other side of this crawl space. So it took me a little while to get to where the line was, right? All I had was a little headlamp because like there was no light under there. It was just really tall. And I grab it and start walking, and the fucking crawl space door shuts.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm like, what the fuck? So like I'm kind of moving a little faster now because the idea of being stuck in something does always kind of freak me out. Like I even told my kids, I was like, when I die, have them like set my ass on fire. Don't put me in a box. Just don't do it. So like I'm like running, I was running, but like waddling my little ass trying to get through this crawl space back to the door. And the fucking door is locked. I can't get out. So I'm like beating on it. It was like a stainless steel door too. It's like one of them big industrial ones, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like beating the hell out of this door, and I'm like screaming like, hey, hey, hey. And like there's a little vent, like a you know them vents that they put in the crawl spaces every like 6 feet.
Yep.
Like it's got a grate on it. Like of course I can't fit out of a vent, but you can see my hands and shit, right?
Yeah.
But it's got a grate there, so I'm like screaming out of that grate, and there's people walking by looking at me, and nobody's stopping. So I'm starting to panic now because I'm locked under the fucking projects. It's like 4 o'clock, so I'm figuring it's gonna be dark in about 2 hours. People's hearing me, but nobody's helping me. So I'm like fucking panicking, right? So I got my phone out, and I barely had but 1 bar, and I had to like hold it up against a grate to like catch a signal to call my supervisor. And I'm like, dude, I'm fucking locked under this place. Can you please help me? And he's like, wait. He's like, wait, what? I said, dude, this is where I am. Like, I don't know what you got to do. Call the cops, something. Get me the fuck out of here. And he's like, are you kidding me? I said, dude, I'm serious. I'm under here. Fucking get over here. Well, here's the kicker. He is like, I don't know, an hour and 10 minutes away from where I am. So he doesn't call the law, which I wish he would have, because I wouldn't have sat under there for another hour and 10 minutes. But after sitting under there playing, I don't know, Angry Birds or something on my cell phone.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think it was.
At least you weren't watching porn and jerking off under the guy's
No,
house.
my anxiety was too high. It was like if I would have been jerking off, it would have been like the first time I ever got any, where I was like kind of nervous and didn't know exactly what I was doing. I had that level of fucking anxiety going on because I'm stuck in this fucking crawl space. But I do remember listening, the Angry Birds song. It was kind of like my anxiety level dropped a little bit. Well, and here comes my boss, and he's like, hey, man. I was like, yeah, dude, you fucking here finally? God almighty, dude, I've been under here for like ever. He took some bolt cutters and cut the lock. Somebody had shut the door and locked it.
Oh, Jesus.
He said, you're going to want to see this. So he cuts it. That's the scariest I've ever been as a tech. I was scared to death locked under there because I'm like claustrophobic a little bit anyway. Well, I got out, and he says, dude, you're going to want to see this shit. Somebody had busted every window out of my van. It just so happened the van I was driving. Remember, I told you I only had one van.
Yeah.
My van was in the shop, and this was like a loaner van that I was driving. And they busted every fucking window out, every cable box, every tool. The only thing that was left in there was like my layup sticks and like my climbing belt. They stole everything. My Tom that was mine, they stole everything. And I'm like, what the fuck? So like, granted, we actually didn't get those people's cable on. And yeah, that was a fucked up day, and that was horrifying to say the least.
Yeah, that's I've never experienced that. I got stuck in a wall once, and that was pretty horrible. That was horrifying.
Well, what's bad though is it seems like people in the hood and the projects, and I'm not bashing people. People have hard times and shit. I'm poor. It is what it is. But if you see somebody locked in a crawl space, and then you see like people fucking vandalizing a truck, you might want to like call the law or do fucking something. These people just kept walking like I'm minding my. It's like prison. I'm just minding my own business.
No, it ain't. It's like fucking Boston, dude. You look the other way. If it ain't your fucking car, they ain't bothering you. You just fucking keep going.
Well, there's a thing down here called Southern hospitality, man. It's real.
Yeah, it sounds like a you problem, not a me problem.
No, it was fucked, man. That was shitty.
How about this? We have an email from one of our listeners. You ready for this shit?
Let's hear it.
All right. We have an email here from William Abernathy. I think that Abernathy from Texas wrote us an email. I'm kind of the horror story in this, but what I really can't stand is being watched by a customer. A little checking in is okay, but to stand there and stare at me while I work is a little frustrating. So there's a couple of things to work this out to not be so bad. First, there's the fake shock thing, making people think you're getting electrocuted by holding onto the cable or something. The look of shock is great, and at least get a laugh or not. It lightens things up. Or if the timing's right and lunch was bad that day, there's the fart. Oh my God, dude. There's the fart that makes you call yourself a rotten bastard. Let it go ever so quietly, and when the room starts reeking, turn around and give that customer an accusing look. William, you are one fucked up dude, and I'm proud to call you part of the CATV Tech Talk family.
That was fucking epic.
Yeah, that's the fart one. Yeah, I mean, I think I've done that in a panic, but the fake shock thing, I've never done that. That's pretty good.
Oh my gosh, dude. Now that you said that, I'll add to our horrifying stories. Dude, when I was riding out, you remember your ride out days?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, you remember your ride out days, man? Like whenever you meet up the shop and you know there's no stress because you're just hanging out with some dude for the day. Well, man, we go like every morning when I was with this guy, and he was fucking like, he was arguably the greatest tech for in the house. He was scared to death to climb a pole. I never seen the guy run a drop the whole time I was with him. But he was really weird. He was always listening to like political radio, and he was like real proper. And every morning we had to do the same fucking.
Was he one of those dorky guys that listen to fucking cable talk fucking podcasts?
No, those are badass people. No, he listened to like what's that guy's name? That fucking. I'll think of it later. He's the political talk show guy. What the fuck is his name?
Howard Stern.
No, it definitely wasn't Howard Stern.
J.K. Rowling.
No, what the fuck is his name?
Superman.
Fuck it, dude. I'll think of it later. Anyway, I listen to this shit. I listen to this shit like every day, going everywhere. He didn't say a lot, but we had the same routine every day. When I rode with him, I'd get in the van. We'd go get gas at this gas station, get breakfast, and then go to our AM. All right, we go to get gas, and I get me a fucking breakfast burrito and a chocolate milk. This is what happens. I eat this.
Sounds like a Jesse meal.
It is. Yeah, that's definitely me. I could eat it 3 times a day. I ate this big sausage, egg, and cheese fucking breakfast burrito and this damn chocolate milk, this like pint of chocolate milk. So we go to our AM and we're like hooking shit up or whatever, and it hits me. I have got to shit. And I'm not saying like, okay, it's coming, it's boiling. It hits me, fucking, it's coming out. I'm
Like
about
if
to,
you sneeze, you fucked.
yeah, like it's happening. That's the closest I can imagine to what giving birth is. Like, it's fucking time, dude. There's nothing you can do about it. It's fucking happening right now. So I politely, and I'm like sweating. Like I'm sweating because I'm trying to like tighten my butt cheeks together because I'm like, I can't shit myself. And I don't want to ask these people, like if I was there on my own, I'd be like, man, I need to run up and get a part from somebody. I'd run to the fucking gas station, take a shit. But I'm riding with somebody. So what the fuck am I supposed to do? So I go up to this lady. I said, ma'am, can I please use your restroom? She, oh, absolutely. It's downstairs. So I like run downstairs to this bathroom that's like in the bottom down there. And as soon as I sit down, it exploded and it echoed. It was the loudest fucking like. And I'm like, oh my God, I know they heard that. I know they heard that. And then I start sweating more, man. I'm like sweating more. And I'm like, oh, dude, I'm going to get fired because I had to take a shit.
And then all
And
of a
I'm
sudden
like,
you get upset and nervous, so your stomach gets all even more tied up, so you think you gotta shit longer, so now you're spending more awkward time down there longer than you should be.
well, this is the worst part. Like I got it out and I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm wiped. I'm clean. My pants are up. My hands are washed. I'm good to go. So I walk out. 10 minutes pass and I gotta go again. I'm fucking sick at this point, right? Like I got to go. And I'm like, man, can I please use your restroom?
Oh my
So
God.
it was so fucking horrifying, dude, because I had to ask this woman not once but twice, and I fucked her toilet up, dude. There's no in between. I fucking stuck it in with no lube. I didn't spit on it. I blew that motherfucker up twice, and it was so fucking like uncomfortable and awkward, and oh man, it was so bad. And I sweated and sweated. And I'm wearing like they didn't give us uniforms yet, so I'm wearing jeans and like a collared shirt, you know?
Yep.
And I'm like, man, I'm like sweating through this fucking collared shirt and it's just awful, dude. That was terrible. That was the most uncomfortably horrifying time as a cable tech for me.
So see, and I almost don't want to share this because I should have fucking patented this goddamn thing. I didn't always have one in my van, but at the beginning, when that was a huge fear of mine, I called it my oh shit bucket. And what it was a Homer bucket with a lid. And inside of it, I had trash bags filled with probably, I don't know, 5 cups of kitty litter with like 3 trash bags in there and a pool noodle that I cut down the middle, and you could put it around the top of the 5-gallon bucket. So all you did was you opened up one of the bags of the kitty litter, put it over the edge of the bucket, put the pool noodle down, and you had a cushy spot to sit and put your bum on, and you could actually take a shit in the back of your van if you absolutely needed to.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I got stuck once, and needless to say, Dunkin' Donuts cups aren't as big as you think they are sometimes. So I came up with a good, effective way to not have to worry about it. So make the best out of a shitty situation.
Absolutely, you did, my man.
And not to mention, it was pretty comfy.
I would imagine I probably wouldn't get up and get it. I'd be unproductive if I had one of those.
But yeah, I have to say, I never really did take it out. It was like, hey, I'm just gonna fucking like pull up to a river, open up the side doors, take out the little bucket, and fucking take a shit along a river. Now that I think about it, that probably would have been fucking spectacular.
It would have been fucking amazing.
But yeah, these are pretty horrible and disgusting things. I think this made a good Halloween episode.
Yeah, man. Those are. I'm telling you, dude. That instance was so fucking like. That was horrifying. That is the word. It's so awkward to like ask anybody to use their bathroom when you don't fucking know them. Like in general, like it's okay to go into McDonald's and blow their shit up because they fucking like it's a public bathroom. But if you go in somebody's house you don't know, like all of us have been in millions of people's houses, and you're just like, hey, I need to go fucking blow your fucking shitter up. Is that cool, man? All right, cool. I'll say, like it's shit. It's awful, man.
Yeah, because it's hard to fucking do that and try to walk away from it. Like, wait, what? No, that wasn't me. You must have pooped in your bathroom. You must be mistaken.
You're the one that fucking cracked the damn porcelain pony in there.
Jesus Christ. All right. People aren't going to want to listen to us because this is horrible. People are going to look at us differently now. A lot of it's going to involve shit.
No, I think they understand that we all have to defecate at least once a day. And unless you're my son and you shit every time you eat.
All right, guys. Before this gets any more horrible, I'm going to end this. Anything else, Jesse?
If you ever say horrible again, I'm going to kick you in the balls.
All right, this shit's been fucking horrible, guy. Let's get fucking out of here. I'm so done with this shit.
Happy Halloween, motherfuckers.
See ya. Like what you just heard? Then don't forget to click that subscribe button. Questions for the hosts or just want to say hello? You can email us at catvtechtalk@gmail.com or find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/catvtechs. Thanks again for joining us, and don't forget, climbing, crawling, drilling, driving is just the beginning.